I know Jeris is just faunching at the bit.
Jeris has a good one about, Melita was just mentioning that he kind of talked you through a very hard time.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
there's an interesting story you have about a waitress that was suicidal, and John.
Yes, and this comes from back with the original Bobcats of David Riley was sharing this story with us last night at Johnny and Barbara's, and back with the original Bobcats when they had their club. Well, they worked like crazy at the club, and they did all the jobs and then played, and then they always went to the Village Inn at 31st and Memorial to get breakfast, unwind, have their coffee. So they had a standing table there, and they always had the same waitress, and they got to the point that Village Inn would even call and say, "Will you be here tonight?" and okay it with them. And it was really cool. Well, this particular waitress was having some problems and was really contemplating suicide. And Barbara and I, our eyes were this big last night, and Sarah Riley, and we were listening, and David said, she came up to them that night and she said, "I was really just that close to committing suicide today. Everything had been going wrong in her life." But she said, "Oh my gosh, just the thought of all of you coming in with all your funny stories, the toilet's not working at the club, whatever, just the silly things that go on in the business and the niceness," because all of us have been out with the Bobcats or the group of musicians. I mean, musicians are nice people and tip very well, usually. And she said because of that, she nixed that idea. Just because. So to me, the message is that you're going to meet the same people going up the ladder as you do coming down. So if we could all of us that knew John Henry and knew that he always took time to say hello to anyone, you never know, especially if you're famous like John Henry. You never know. Just a nicety at the grocery store or getting your gasoline and you say thank you, how much that could mean, to somebody's life, for that moment. So I think Johnny was a good example of that, because I believe anyone that knew Johnny, they thought that was his best friend. Mm-hmm. Because he made you feel like at that moment no one else, was important but what you were saying, and that takes a whole lot of work. You may have a headache and not feel good or something, and you're taking that time when you just really don't want to talk and you want to just say, "All right, whatever, dude, thanks." But he took the time to care. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, and you talk about the ladders, and no matter what business you're in, no matter what you do in life, and going up and coming down, and we're all going to have that. And John Henry, I don't think he ever had a problem with being your best friend. I think that's what he thrived on.
And he didn't even look at it like, "Aren't I cool?"
Oh,
I
not
am
for a
so
second.
cool because I answer the phones and I'm caring. His ego was so level and so sensible. He didn't need that ego stroked, which I think made him so easy to work with as a musician. I'm sure as a disc jockey, co-disc jockey friend, or just being a friend. He just didn't look at it like he was really, let me cut him some slack and give him some John Henry.
Don't you think John Henry got life? He got what the big picture was about. He understood religion. He understood humor. He understood family. He understood what life and living was about. And he passed that on to everybody, I think. And he was such a genuine person that you couldn't help but feel that. And that's why when everybody that was around him, he made you feel like he was your best friend.
Well, and he comes from good stock.
Good, as my mother would say, he was from good breeding.
Yes,
he was raised right, and he just understood what life was about. And I don't think there's anybody that could exemplify that anymore. You can give me any minister, nobody knew life like John Henry, and he expressed that to everybody. He knew what love was about. He knew what the joy of living. He knew music. Good Lord, he got it, baby. You can talk about cool. John Henry was cool. You know,
Yes, he was.
That's right.
he was cool. Barbara, the family, we love you.